Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
I got a banner on. I didn't realize that's what I did. Good morning, everyone. You guys can't even see me. Oh my gosh. Well, hello, my beautiful people. I obviously put my thumbnail in the wrong area this morning and it covered my face. I hope you guys are all doing really super ultra well today. We're going to be going over this case with Sebastian Rogers. Sebastian Rogers is obviously a missing child. We've had a missing child since February 26, 2023, and Sebastian hasn't been heard or seen since. We identified early on that the parents, their stories not making that much sense to us. Not making that much sense. But before we get on to this, I want to say good morning. I know we already have a lot of people in the chat this morning. So I'm just going to say morning to the first few people that came into the chat. GG for life, first in here to say good morning to me, the mods, and all of you. It's nice to see you, followed by Sonia, which also got me this shirt, right? This is the one that says, I love Jesus, I just cuss a little. And I think that was the shirt that Sonia was most deceptive in, because I cuss a lot. I've been working on it. It's a work in progress. Bear with me. Lisa M., Vermont girl. It's nice to see you, me and you. It's nice to see River. TD Dean is up in the house. It's nice to see you, Sorta Morta. Great to have you, Rachel. And the gang. Let me just see. Unicorn is up in the house. It's nice to see you, my love. Nola's mom. Crystal Pistol, Carla, God bless you. Who else do we have? DNA. So it's nice to see everybody. I can't get to you all this morning. We've already got a lot of people in the chat, as you can imagine. We are going to be going over several aspects before we get started. Oh, Susanna is up in the house. All my mod squads, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for being here as well. As you see, we got the storm behind Betty. The storm is coming. The storm is coming. The storm is coming. Let's just back up a little bit. We're going to walk through this case and get you up to where we are today and what our topic of discussion is. And it's just laying out the newest information in a palatable size for you to digest as I build my case for this particular child in my efforts in trying to locate where he could be. I have not found, we've got a lot of circles on the map and lots of different areas that stretch from Tennessee to Mississippi. And it's going to be a long drawn out process. This is a case that we are looking for a boy. We're looking for a boy that was removed from his home. Marmy, God bless you. It's nice to see you. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club. If you guys have not already, please go get your beverage. I know coffee is not the palate of everybody. Maybe it's tea. Maybe it's a Coca-Cola. Maybe it's just water. Whatever it is, get it. We're going to be here for a moment. Not 4 hours, but we're going to be here for a little moment. So we learned from Sebastian's parents that he went to bed. Hey, Cheeky Chaps, it's nice to see you. He went to bed at 9 o'clock, allegedly, by his mother. And when she woke up at 6 a.m., he vanished. All the doors, windows, everything was locked. The only way she could imagine that he could have gotten out of the house is the front door that he allegedly always walks out and uses the combination for. One of the first telling signs for me that their story wasn't holding water with this door is the fact that a neighbor had talked about Sebastian going and grabbing the mail. And it was a very telling statement, because he went and grabbed the mail and he was happy-go-lucky, popping around, and he decides to go up. He walks up to the front porch to go into the front door. Door was locked. So he just bebops on off that porch and walks into the garage. If that's the case, if that's the door he always goes through, and that's the door he always goes through and punches a key code into to get inside that door, then why in the world would he have to walk to the garage? Naturally, he would have punched the code in as he always did and walked through the door as he always did. So there was already some problems right there from the very beginning that just, to me, I was starting to get skeptical because of that statement. Not right away. Hey, Wanda, it's nice to see you, my beautiful. I hope you're doing well. I've been watching your journey, so I hope you're doing well, love. So we've got them. He's going into the house. They're saying that all this activity is going on. We had an opportunity to talk to his father. His father felt like that day was a little overstimulating for him, but we only assume that it was. We look in the behaviors of kids that are autistic, and we realize they have these things called meltdowns. And this was a Sunday night, a day before he had to get up super early and start going back to school. So he has these propensities of staying in the house and isolating himself. The family itself sounds like they isolate themselves. Then the story comes of her getting up that morning, getting up out of bed, and her first thing she does when she wakes up is go and get her son up so he can start getting ready for school. When she went into his room, he wasn't there. and she went into a complete manic mode. She searches around the house frantically, and she immediately calls her husband within 3 minutes because she can't find her son. The neighbors have said that they did see her on the outside of the house walking around before she gets in her car and leaves. The weird thing is when she's walking around her house, now mind you, she just woke up. She just found out her son wasn't there. She's on the phone with her husband, and now she's walking out of the house. The problem for me in this story is and one of my questions was, what was she wearing at the time? What was she in? What clothing was she in at this time? Because she should have been in pajamas. And it's my understanding from the newest information released, she was fully dressed. And I don't understand how she can be fully dressed when she just woke up and just found her son missing. So, but that's just, maybe that can be easily explained. I don't know. We'll find out what the explanation is if she ever provides an explanation. We were told that she drove around. There was something about her story that just did not ring true to us. And then we start analyzing Chris's arms and finding out Chris has all these weird scratches, and some people believe are bite marks. I don't believe they're bite marks, but there are a significant number of people that do. Their story about this child walking out willingly, it was always questionable because they were adamant that this child walked out the front door. Adamant. Not adamant that this child was abducted. They wanted to make sure that abduction theory was stifled as quickly as it was rearing its ugly head. They wanted to let you know that they were strict parents, that there is no stranger danger, that there's, that he doesn't typically run away from home. They want you to know that their house is absolutely, utterly secure and nobody can get in. And oh, by the way, if somebody does get in, then we will see them on a camera. So let's play my first clip. Let's play it. I'm just going to play it. I'm not going to let you guys watch it. And it comes back, I think, right here.
Had been by the front door, punched.
Let's go back.
And not only that, but if somebody had been by the front door, punched in the code, believe it or not, no, it's not super clear, but you would have seen a shadow or a figure.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
So if we would see a shadow and a figure, going into the home, we should see a shadow or a figure coming out of the home and the door opening, because there's ambient light from everybody's home. Think about it. We all have things that plug in and emit some type of light, like a blue light. For example, I have a sink box in my home, right? It syncs everything together. It has a blue light that glows, and it glows all the time. My internet equipment glows. I have boxes in several rooms. The light emits. Just little lights from the microwave emit. Nobody has a completely dark home. There's a light on somewhere. And when you're in pitch black, that light is almost magnified. Hey, T, it's nice to see you. And I kind of believe that this is, if the door had opened, there should have been some type of ambient light, even if it didn't pick up the figure or the shadow going in front of the ambient light as it exits the house. We saw none of that. There was none of that. There was no evidence that this child walked out of the home where there should have been evidence that this child walked out of the home. There was none. And every time the Proudfoots or the Rogers family talked about Sebastian, they gave us more and more reasons why this child would never willingly walk out of the home. He doesn't like outside. He likes going to the park and playing, but he doesn't like dirt. He doesn't like slimy things. He doesn't like grass. He doesn't like playing, those types of things. When he goes, he likes playing on jungle gyms and clean items. So it just didn't make sense that he walked out of the home. And we focused on that. And we came to the determination for this group that, in our opinion, he did not willingly walk out of the home. Now we went on to the next step to evaluate the story that was provided by Katie and Chris. And we started looking into that and going all the way back to the beginning, as far back to the beginning, because when we watched Chris McDonough on the Interview Room, and we had Steve Johnson on there, Steve Johnson said we need to go to the newest, the oldest statements that they made, because those are going to be the most uncontaminated statements. And so the most uncontaminated statements we could find publicly was Dutch's on 3-3. And that was very telling, because their story was wildly different in that interview than it is today. And so when we got to hear the neighbor, it really kind of blew this whole thing open for me and what I'm doing here. Because this entire time I've said that I thought those lights at first might have been floodlights. And then I was adamant that I truly believe that they're automobile lights, but I was wrong when I was looking at it. I didn't see the halo. I was thinking they were further away and in the construction site, and somebody was ticking them on and turning them off. By the way, we have 447 people watching right now from a variety of places. If you guys would go out and please give me a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm working hard to compile all this information, and we're going to get into more of the breaking information that's just been coming out and breaking over the last 24, 48 hours related to this case from our side, not law enforcement's, our side. And so now we have this situation going on in the house. We don't believe, we know that this 3-hour conversation means something, but we really need to find out what. We finally hear from the neighbor. The neighbor tells us in this other content creator a couple days ago, tells them that there's light phenomenons going on inside the house, and reconfirms that the lights that Nick Barris sent to us, that is legit. But the one thing that was cut off for us, or wasn't cut off for us, we just didn't realize what we were looking at, was the unidentified car. We have been looking for a car because I truly believe that this child was removed that night. I really believe that this child was removed that night. I didn't know what those lights were, but I definitely knew by the time Guidance did the overlay that they were moving. They weren't still lights. There was no question in my mind that those lights were moving after Guidance did her overlay. Okay. But I didn't see the car, and the light source I did see, I thought might have been a car from the construction site. We see it right there on the road now. And we started looking at it. We started knowing the players. We now know that these people are isolating, so they're going to keep their circle very close. Their circle is very close, and their circle consists of their family. So now that eliminates a lot of people and a lot of possibilities. Now I can focus on vehicles that the family owns, and the first vehicles that I'm going to be looking at are the people that I know are just as dirty as the Proudfoots, and that is Mommy and Daddy Dearest Bowersocks. Because they helped they did help kidnap Faith. And they're willing to do dirty stuff for their kid. So we know that about them. So it's easy to kind of hone in on them as being the first people that would most likely be involved in something with the Proudfoots. Are they? I don't know. Did Chris go over there and get her car and go over there? There's 2 flashlights, not 3. 2. It is absolutely possible that Kathy loaned Chris her vehicle. But I am starting to believe it is her vehicle. So we're going to go through some stuff for you guys here. I want you to hear this. This right here is on Terry Lynn's channel. I want you guys to sub it up. Actually, let me grab her link real quick. And where's my question mark? T right there. Okay. This is the full, it's 11 hours, but I'm right around the 2 hour and 17 minute mark. 2 hour and 17 minute mark. If you'd like to go listen to the whole thing yourself, I'm dropping it right now into chat. You can go there and watch the entire interview. I see that interview with the neighbor starts right at about 2 hours and 16 minutes into this. for your starting point, because it is 11 hours. So I wanted to give you a place where you can go listen to it for yourself. And I always recommend, no matter how many people listen to something and provide commentary on it, I always, always, always recommend my audience going and listening to the full interview in its originality, because even though something might be important to us or me and might go to something I'm working on, there might be other information in there that's helping you in your journey along with this case. So I always recommend everybody reviewing all of these interviews. I try very hard. The Duchess interview we went through pretty thoroughly, but I try very hard, if possible, to really break it up, so we are covered under fair use. And I want everybody to have plenty of time that they got their clicks and the reviews on it from their hard work. I think it's a courtesy that all creators should show one another. But, I digress. When I first came out here, I wasn't that kind myself, but I was taught by horrible people. I've learned my way through this, on my own journey on social media and being a true crime content creator, that I do like providing courtesy. We are all using each other's stuff in this true crime genre, because we're all getting information that's working for our cases. And at the end of the day, the victims are really why we're all here. So, I think it's a little more relaxed than it once was, because we are truly all trying to help find and locate the answers, no matter who you believe is responsible or not. But this is really kind of honing in on why I truly believe that this is, we're on the right track. We're on the right track. So I'm going to show Terry Lynn's video again. I want you guys to please, there's not really a whole lot here. She's just looking at a Burger King or wherever she might be. But I did want you guys to at least see it, so you have something to look at. It's not much, I get it, but it's something. It's something. Let me get this. I hate these chats. I don't really care for the chats when I'm doing this. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and play this now for you guys, and we're going to sit there and chat about it. But I need to go back to about 17 minutes. I think it's right about here. Let me get about 5 more seconds.
Well, honestly, I'm a little bit nervous.
Don't be.
Because I know that Chris's temper is a little bit, they're going through a lot too. Whatever happened to him, I don't know. I don't understand. None of us understand. I'm not going to speculate. I will not do that. That is not my place.
No, leave that to me.
That's not my job.
Just leave it to me. I'll do it for you. Do you know anything about a car?
I mean,
a car.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was part of what I talked about on.
I haven't listened to it yet.
Okay. There was absolutely, for sure, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, it's on a neighbor's camera. Right. There was a car on our road, on my road.
Right.
There was a car. I don't know anything about the car. I don't know. Nobody ever told me what it looked like or anything like that. But there was a car on my road around 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish in the morning. It drove down my road. It turned right onto Stafford. It sat on Stafford for about 5 minutes or so. 2 flashlights came up to the car.
Oh, God.
Walked across yards, and absolutely, without a doubt, it was 2 flashlights. The neighbor that has it on camera confirmed, without a doubt, it was absolutely 2 flashlights. It was not, and I repeat, it was not. Do I need to do it again? It was not the trash truck.
I knew it wasn't.
Absolutely, without a doubt, not a trash truck.
I told
the neighbor that had the camera talked to me personally and said, I'm telling you right now, there was a car there. It pulled, it backed up, back onto Kellen, and then drove down Kellen to leave. She has it on camera.
Oh, my God.
The flashlights were seen going through the yards. Trash trucks don't go through the yards.
That's what I said. Thank you for saying that. Trash trucks do not go
Why would
through
they do
the
that?
yards.
There's no trash trucks.
Thank you.
But here's the thing.
So I wanted you guys to hear that, because, we've all been talking about this. And we've been talking about, since the first Miss Bobby interview came out, we have been focused on this car, because I've been finding a way of transport. Okay. Whether we've been talking about it, every single day or not, I have been looking for a vehicle to transport. And this gives me a transport vehicle. This is now, giving weight to one of my theories that he was removed from that property that night. Now, we have to try to dovetail why the dogs didn't hit around their house for Sebastian's scent, but hit around the construction site. Is it possible that they were cleaning the house and taking their cleaning stuff to the vehicle? And earlier that day, or earlier that evening, because we don't have the full evening on camera, did they place Sebastian over in this construction site to get him off their property and into a unidentified location for him to be picked up and removed? It may explain why there was the scent started and stopped over there at that construction site. She does. And I hope law enforcement is, I don't know. So also in the interview with the other content creator, the first Miss Bobby interview, we learned about the light phenomenons. We finally got to hear about the light phenomenon inside the home just a few hours or just an hour or so before these light phenomenons coming from their backside of their house to a unidentified car. And then one flashlight going back to the house. I just want to make sure that's clear, that one of those lights are seen going back toward the house. 2 lights, one goes back to the house, one drives off. Was somebody else inside that car? It seems like there was somebody else inside that car. It seems like there was somebody driving and sitting in that car. So it sounds like there's potential of at least 3 people right now where I sit that know major information about this boy. 3. 2 people with the flashlight, 1 person in the car. We don't know how many people were in the car. Could it be 2 people? It could absolutely be 2 people. It could absolutely be 2 people. So Guidance put together a clip last night showing the light sources. And I want to go ahead and do this. But first, I want to drop Guidance's link down here. I would like you guys to all sub up to Guidance. She has been doing the overlays in this case. She's been very helpful in that aspect. She's one of our beautiful mods in our chat. She loves you guys. So this is her work. Go over there, show her some love and support. And here's what we got. And I must try to, I wish I could, can I slow this down? Hold on, let me try to slow this down. I want to slow it down. It's only 1 minute and 30 seconds. Let's just slow it down a little bit. Just a little bit. Yep. So you see, he's overlaying, and you can see right up in here, you can see a light. There it is, right there. And see it moving? Look at it moving. Look at it moving. That is not a stationary light. That is a light moving.
You see subject 1 with a light source in the lower right-hand corner. Then you see subject 2 briefly appear and move toward the first before that light source is covered or obscured by bushes. Subject 1, a few seconds later, then moves out of frame. Then subject 2 reappears and follows subject 1 off screen. More time later, and it's very vague, but then you see one of the subjects moving quickly back through the common area.
So again, Guidance has been doing a lot of great overlay work on this case. It's really giving us and honing in on these light sources in conjunction with this area from the camera. It is great work. You can clearly see that these are not stationary lights, and this is not movement from leaves or trees either. This is clearly lights that are moving as if they're flashlights with someone. One person sent to me If you look at them, one light, even when they're both coming toward the camera, one light is super, super, super brighter than the other light. And somebody was talking about somebody wearing a headlamp. It's one that straps around your head. So you have a light, but your hands are free. They're utilized in a lot of construction. I have one. I got one when I was in construction. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Lots of guys like Chris Proudfoot would own something like this. So again, we have two individuals, one going to a car and is seen, well, both of them going to a car, one of them heading back toward the Proudfoot home, and one of them leaving and going out of the community. But it was right after this light phenomenon that we talked about in the house. So what happened inside that home? Well, the lights decided to go on and off for, periodically from 9 to 11:30. At 11:30, the lights in Sebastian's room went off for the last time. And you could see an image of somebody walking through the house to the back. The back lights go off. And then a few moments later, all of the house, the lights in the house go off. The whole house goes pitch black. Pitch black. And the camera, a different camera, not the one that's seen here, a different camera across the street from the Proudfoots that has that front view of their mailbox and garages and front door. That camera picks up a silhouette in the front window looking out, trying to see who's up and who saw what. Now, they just said a silhouette in the window, but it comes right after the entire house goes dark and you see a silhouette. I guarantee you see that head moving this way and moving this way. But that, when I saw that, it made the hair on the back of my neck stand up because it sounded like a freaking horror movie. I can hear that, behind, like, it's creepy. So we have this creepy stuff going on inside the home of the Proudfoots at 11:30 at night. Remember, Katie's got to be asleep by midnight. She has to be asleep, in bed asleep. She went to bed at midnight, bed, sleep, midnight, right? And she was on the couch, sleeping? So she couldn't have been moving around the house. She couldn't have been the one in there flipping her son's light on and off. She couldn't have been the one that turned off the light. And she definitely couldn't have been the one with the silhouette in the window because she was sleeping, y'all. And she definitely couldn't have been the light source coming from the backside of her house to this unidentified car because, again, she was sleeping. Obviously. Well, I got to tell you, it's not obvious that this woman was sleeping. As a matter of fact, I don't think Chris or Katie got a wink of sleep that night. As a matter of fact, I think Chris went straight to work and we're probably going to find out he was asleep in that crane, waiting for his work to start, waiting for somebody to come up there and pat on the thing. Hey, what you doing in there? Time to get to work. So he didn't miss his job. I bet you we're going to find that out. What you bet? So we have Katie fully dressed when she should be in pajamas. We got Chris most likely sleeping in his crane when he shouldn't even have been to work. We got strange phenomenons going on inside their home that night. We got strange phenomenons going on the outside of their home that night. But the one thing that nobody sees that entire night is a single boy walking out of the home. Just saying. Just saying. Now, here's another one that Guidance did. I'm going to play this one through as well because this one kind of gives you, I think this one brings in everything kind of home, where everything is, where everything transpired, where the lakes are, the retaining pond. I think this was well done. Again, credit goes to our beautiful mod, Guidance. please go over, sub her up, and watch these things. It really does help her, and give her some words of encouragement. I'm sure this stuff took her some time to create. It takes everybody time to create these things. So, I mean, even last night we were working on the freaking car, buttoned the car ass end up for what, an hour at least. We were out here just working it until we got it. We went through several different cars, and somebody sent me, it's a 2019. We put the 2019. Yeah, I got that one pulled up too. And I've got some things on that one. I don't think people are going to like my commentary on that one. And it's not from the creator that created it. At first it was, and I feel like I was being biased by this creator because of my dislike for them. And long story short, I went back and looked, and I started thinking, oh my God, this could be something. But I'm going to point out something that makes me question it just a little bit, because this, I think, might be too much, and I'll explain it a little bit more. And again, it doesn't have to do with because if you don't believe me, P can tell you, I was like, no, don't like this creator. And then I wrote P back, and I'm like, well, you know, I said, I do need to look at this. This actually might look like something. And so I watched it again. I watched it again. And so I'm a little on the fence with it. And again, it's not from the creator that gave it to me. And I'll explain why I'm on the fence with it. And I think you guys will get it and understand it's not because I don't like the creator. It truly is because I do have some concerns with it. And I'm going to point those out to you. Okay, I think we got this. Can you guys see it? Hopefully you can.
Good morning, everybody. This is still a work in progress, but just wanted to see a closer focal point of what we might be seeing in that video that Nick Barris sent. Let me know your thoughts, comment below, and look forward to seeing you more. Have a great day, y'all. And let's bring Sebastian home.
That's where the lights will light. That's one. That's two. That's the home. So that's where their area was, where the light sources were, right there. And then she's going to blow this up. Just bear with her. She's going to get it up on a bigger screen. Just a second. She's just showing you guys her work and how she came up with it. And now you can see the light sources. Let me get over there. Now you can see the light sources. Here. Right there. Right there. You guys see it? It's moving. Hopefully you guys can see it when I move on the other side. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I feel like it might be taking it off when I flip over to a different. So again, if you guys would like to, please go over and sub up. Hopefully you guys can see it. Can you guys see it when I go over to the other screen? Because sometimes it takes it off for me. So I always worry about that, especially after running through YouTube. And when I realized I wasn't on this screen, it would take it off. You wouldn't be able to see anything. So I want to make sure that that doesn't happen. But we've got a lot of information and a lot more details here than we once did. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over here to this one right here. This is the one that I think everybody's talking about. This is the one that Bed Crime Stories did. I really don't like playing them when they just drop, but there is something in here that I want to point out to you, okay? So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to play it, and actually I'm going to put you on a big screen. I'm going to put you on big screen, and I'm going to play it. There we go. For you. But this is the problem I have with it. So I want you to watch this, just this little section. And here's the link to go watch the full image here. Let's see right there. There you go. That is to this exact video right here. I'm looking at the area at 428. This is where I'm at. So I want you guys to see this, okay?
And in front of these lights.
One, two, three.
It's about to get bigger, folks.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we'll start here. So it looks like 20 or 30 seconds of this clip that we've got. And you should be focused.
Yeah, focus on the dark, not the light. Just look at the silhouettes of the people, or what looks like people moving about.
I don't think
it looks like there's a ruckus going on.
Okay, so you guys got to see it. Hopefully, did you guys get to see it? Like I said, I can't tell if it's because I got to bounce from screen to screen. It's always seemed to work before. But the problem here is it looked like a ruckus, but the people never really moved. They stayed in the same thing, having the same ruckus over it. You know, like it appeared to me that this might actually be lights, leaves, or bushes moving. And I really believe that because everything that I see with the light sources and stuff, I don't see where they're ever standing in light to have this image put on a wall or a car or a house or anything like that. But it looks like a ruckus, but they never really move. I mean, they look like they're moving around, but they all stay in the same general place. So that's kind of why the video does loop, and I took that into consideration because I know that they only have a small segment to work with. But even that small segment, they're moving, but they're all in the same spot. And that's the one thing that I noticed with that particular thing. And we don't know what we're looking at. We have to overanalyze these things like this. I'm not criticizing anybody for doing this, blowing it up or anything like that, but we're also trying to analyze it. That's why we blow it up. And so I have to provide some type of context behind it because we're watching the light sources. The light sources were never in any type of light, any type of radiant light. We couldn't see any shadowing of them. If you're not in light, you can't create a shadow is the problem for me. And so I really tried to identify where they would have been in this light source to create this phenomenon on this what appears to be like a wall or garage or whatever it may be. So It does look like some. I mean, I stopped dead in my, because at first I was like, no, I didn't really, and then I'm like, I went back and started looking at it. I said, well, let me just look at it. And so I really did analyze it just to see, because I if it's something, we want to bring it here, right? Let's be honest. If it's something that can be utilized, where we want to talk about it, we want to bring it. I'm looking for answers here. But I also looked at those light sources in conjunction with this light thing. I don't see how. I just don't see where their bodies are anywhere in a light source to create this thing. I just don't see it. Maybe somebody has the piece that I need to see it, but I'm not connecting those dots. To me, at this point, it's like leaves or bushes that are making these things. And you probably can go if you guys want to test the theory, go stick a light in a tree and see what kind of stuff comes out of that, or in your bushes on a windy day, and have them moving around and see what it creates. It does do some weird stuff. I've been out in Mayaca City. It's the country. We've seen some scary stuff on our walls, at night. I mean, even, Freddy Krueger and everybody else, from the shadows that have been created by the big oaks out there in the moonlight. So I just wanted to put that out there. I don't know what that is. It could be something. It may not be something. It's just, for me, I can't fit the light sources we know are true and correct. We see them moving. We know that those light sources went to a vehicle. We have corroboration of that. But so I've got to look at the people where they are in conjunction with this light source. And I don't see how they would have been a part of that light source or any type of ruckus that was going on over there. It just doesn't look like they would have been in the area. Their bodies would have been in the area that would have created. That's all I'm saying. Now, something might change. Maybe it's a positioning. You guys know I don't do well with these light things, right? You guys, I mean, it took literally guidance putting that overlay together before I knew what I was even looking at. I have to be honest with you. I'm not good with this stuff at all. So I rely on other people, but I do rely on my once I see something and I understand it, But you see what I'm saying? But it sometimes you need to get me there. You need to get me there, because I have to be realistic. If somebody didn't point those lights, and I said that to you guys many times when Nick Barris dropped that video, if somebody didn't point out those lights to me, would I have seen them, or would I think that they're flashlights? And the answer is no, I wouldn't. But it takes people on the ground that are seeing this, that understands what they're seeing, to tell us. And even with the lights moving, we're hearing their disc garden lights and stuff like that. So I'm like, is it, could it be leaves moving? And I couldn't see what everybody else was seeing. As soon as guidance did that first overlay and I looked at it, it clicked for me. I could see the lights moving. I could see what direction the lights were moving. I could see them going into a direction, and I could see one light going back home. I could finally see this. I couldn't see it before. I didn't know what I was looking at. For all I knew, it was a butt on a firefly next to the freaking camera. I mean, I don't know. But, I needed to see what I needed to see. Guidance brought me there. Guidance is the one that got me there. Now we have this, we saw these lights. We didn't know what we were looking at. I saw the lights come on, and we kept thinking, is that floodlights? And something just kept telling me, car light. I know it's got to be a car light. It's got to be a newer car to make that brightness. Car light. But I didn't see the silhouette. I thought it was further away. But now we do. We have the silhouette. Let me see if I can get this bigger. I probably can't. So we're going to have to focus in on this. I'll do my best. Right here. So this is a 2019. We did confirm by people sending me public records. So public records has confirmed that Kathy Bowersox drives a 2019 Q80 SUV vehicle. This is what you have here. This is a 2019. Let me brighten it up for you so you guys can look at it. 2019 Q80 Infiniti SUV. Okay. We blew it up. It's not quite pivoted just right. because at the end of the day, the car is kind of like the way the camera is, the nose is kind of in at an angle. And obviously I can only find a photo. Now we could, if I knew how to use, I have 3D software that comes with my, Photoshop, but I don't know how to use it. I don't even use Photoshop. I have this expensive program and Premiere and all this stuff that I don't use. I use other easier stuff for me, right? So this I can only get straight from side to side. That's it. So this is what we've got to work with. And it does line up. Now, if I could pivot this just ever so slightly, I think I'd get it lined up perfectly. But you'll see this light down here that I said that really bothered me. I could not figure out what this light was. And when we look at the car, right there where that light is a decorative indentation. Let me get this right. Hold on. A decorative indentation on the bumper. So as you see, when we pull this in here, this almost has a perfect alignment. Let me get it right there. There it is. Perfect alignment. And you see this tiny little dot right here, right in that decorative little indentation in the bumper. It is a perfect, literally spot on, perfect match to the indentation and the glare that would be coming off of the bumper. It is a perfect match to me, the unprofessional trained eye. Look how perfect that you can see the glare when it's lightened up there that way. You can see the glare off the bumper lighting up perfectly, the glare from the bumper, the glare from the indentation, everything lines up almost perfectly with the details of the back end of a 2019 Q80 SUV. This is what we have in this case. This is, to me, very, very damaging to Katie and Chris and to the Bowersocks, quite frankly. We have strange phenomenons, lights going out at 11 p.m. and a creep in the window. Do 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 do. Like I hear like chains and chainsaws like going on behind me. Like I feel like I'm in a horror movie right now because it creeped me out just like that. And I'm not being excitable or facetious. When I first heard that and I heard about the silhouette in the window, creep vibes just went all over me. Like, I mean, seriously, horror film vibes. And we hear about like these abuses in this house. I just keep wondering what this boy was truly living through. It's crazy to me. I'm terrified. I would be a blubbering wreck. Like if I was Nina and my child was coming here to visit, I would be taking off work and staying in the nearest hotel. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't care if a frickin' judge is going to force me to give a man that I think can do something. I'm going to be as close as I can possibly be. They can't stop me from moving around this country. They can't stop anybody from moving around this country. If they're going to force you to hand your child off to somebody that you fear for, if that can't, then fine. I'll be at the nearest hotel. Call me if you need me. I want to be apprised of everywhere you're going. And if it'll be stalkerish for me, then I'm hiring a private investigator right there to keep an eye on what's going on. But it's easier said than done because all of that takes money. All of that takes money. Nobody understands how much, because they're not in this situation. I deal with this stuff on a daily. And that's why it irritates me so bad when I hear people sending around the rumor that they're profiting off their kid. Nobody is profiting. I could tell you that. Nobody's profiting. Seth is not profiting. Every penny I guarantee he has ever collected went to that boy, and moreover, his own money. Much different than the Proudfoots and their measly $500 after 3 months. What a slap in the face. What a slap in the face. You guys are about as much of dirt bags as the Wells. Seth is beyond destroyed. And these animals on here are just, they're irritating me. And of course, I pop off at the mouth when I've had enough. You guys know that. I do pop off at the mouth. And I stand behind everything I say. I don't like saying it. I keep a lot to myself. But when it does boil over in me, I say what's on my mind. And the bottom line is I think, everybody does have their First Amendment right. But there was an entire group that tainted this case. And Seth wants them to leave it alone. And instead of just going on and moving to another case, they're fighting vehemently about their right to have their First Amendment right to free. Who does that to a father? Who makes a father have to send cease and desist letters because you guys are trashing him so bad? And then when you do that, you want to bowl up and say, oh, well, we have a First Amendment right. There's a lot more issues than just your defamation, like intentional infliction of emotional distress. There's a lot there. There's a lot of meat on that bone. And I would suggest anybody getting these things, and I don't give a rat's ass who brings up an attorney and talks about this or that. It's different talking about in generalities and talking about your specific case. And I will tell you that. So I would suggest anybody that's receiving these cease and desist letters, instead of listening to a felon, maybe you need to go and just contact an attorney. You can go and go to the Florida bar or go to your state bar just like anybody else. They will refer you to an attorney. You can literally speak to an attorney for a very nominal fee just to be educated. You spend more than that fighting with all these people on the streets. Why don't you do yourself a favor and go grab yourself a real attorney and talk to them about your specific case? You might be surprised and you might want to change the tune. I don't think avocation is the problem this father has. This father has done nothing. He's never reached out to me. I don't have a cease and desist letter. I know there are hundreds of people covering this case right now that don't have cease and desist letters. It seems like one group of people that caused all of this drama and trauma to an innocent man that is also a victim of this crime is despicable. It's deplorable. And at this point, if they don't want to leave, then there's a reason. And it's either financial or because they have hurt feelings and just want people to hear them. Either way are not good enough for the behavior. The behavior of this group is unjustified. And I hope it stops, but clearly it's not. So we'll keep advocating and keep exposing this nonsense. Even that, I find it awfully funny. I told you guys how one creator likes to manufacture news. And lo and behold, we had manufactured news. A Photoshop news released by this very person. Interesting. And it seems to be going viral, right? Interesting. Oh, but he doesn't do that because he's an investigative reporter, right? Well, he hasn't investigated shit in this case. All he's done is cause problems in this case. This is investigating. This is what we did. Not them. Not them. Shame on all of them. Shame on all of them. And I'm going to keep saying that until the cow comes to come home. And you know what? People keep saying you're burning bridges. You damn right. You're right. I burnt bridges. I took a match to it and I lit it myself. That should tell you where I stand. I never want to see these people again. I will never support these people again. Anybody that can do this to an innocent man will never, ever stand near me. Ever. And this goes into perpetuity. This is not, if anybody knows anything about me, when I'm done, I'm done. And I have no loyalty. So I find out anything about you and you come monkeying in my cases, I'm throwing the kitchen sink at you. Lawfully and legally. So take it for what you will. This is going to be, this case will subside, right? But me, and how I feel about these creators, it ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. And this stuff that they did here, I'm telling you, I give you my honest word, and people can tear me up for it. It will be used against them later. I promise you, I will make sure of that. I will make sure of that. That any family that deals with any of these people sees what these people are capable of. They're dangerous. And what they're doing in these cases is dangerous. It's not entertainment. It's dangerous. Have you shown Seth yet? No, because I know Tony and Seth watch this. I don't, I communicate with them. Our communication is related to Sebastian. People are, spreading misinformation. Oh, is Tony advising you? Or you? No, we actually keep it real. We talk about this child. I send them information that might help them. I don't sit there and advise them. I'm not into the petty, as you guys have known for 3 years, as I was drugged through the mud. I'm not in with the petty YouTube stuff. I don't get involved. Okay? Because trust me, when I get involved, nobody likes it. Why? Because you see what happens when I get involved. I just throw everything out on the table. Right? You want to talk shit? You want to act like you don't have any skeletons? Here, let me tell you about your skeletons. Right? I don't like doing that. So there's a difference between me and other people. Do I have a lot of information about a lot of people? Of course I do. It's my job. It's my job. Do I go out looking for it? No, but when I need to look for it, I do look for it and I catalog it. Just like everybody else. I had horrible things happen to me. I'm in a full investigation. So yeah, I'm pretty up on what happened to me. And who's responsible. So either way, I don't ever want that happening to somebody else. And when I see those techniques used on an innocent father and people want to say that I'm not a peaceful person. Oh, I'm a very peaceful person, but you don't want to bring shit to my front door. And when you do bring it to my front door, yeah, not so peaceful very much anymore. I stand my own. I stand my ground. I do it on the right side of things. I do it out of a place of love. And if people don't like it, that's their problem, not mine. Just like if I don't like their stuff, it's my problem, not theirs. And you know what I do? I don't watch it. I solve all my problems. I solve all my problems. I'd rather not even be talking about the drama at all. I'd rather not even be closing my show with the drama. We're going to close on a better note. But it's just that, we have to address it because we know it's out there. Exactly. There's a lot of stuff, First Amendment. You can use your First Amendment right, but you can't intentionally damage somebody. If you're telling the truth, it's one thing, but these people haven't been releasing the truth about Seth at all. It's all been lies and manufactured BS. Manufactured on Tony. Why would people waste their time on it? This is a petty personality, hurt feeling BS. They should have been focusing on the Proudfoots this entire time, and look how foolish they all look. We've been sitting here knocking this case out of the park while they're still stuck and stupid. They're idiots. They're not investigative journalists. They got sticks up their ass and they got hurt feelings. A man that tells me to leave emotions out of everything is bringing his own emotions into this. He's a hot mess express. Y'all, you guys need to know who he is. And I know you guys say, oh my God, Betty, but learn for your own. But you know what? He's sitting his little girl in the corner, right? Why she's building his channel. He was supposed to months ago be mod of her live. Okay. Keep wishing. Wish in one hand, Magnolia, and shit in the other, and see which one fills up faster. You're going to build his channel, and he's going to leave you holding the bag. When he's done with you, honey, he's going to run your name through the mud. Good luck, but don't be calling Bullhorn Betty because you've been warned. Just saying. Just saying. But let's get back to the focus at hand. The bottom line is everybody's been focusing on Seth while we've been focusing on the Proudfoots. The Proudfoots have a lot of explaining to do. There is no way in hell that these things can go on inside their home, outside their home. But, oh my God, we know nothing. We were sleeping. I was asleep at 10 on the phone with my husband for 3 hours. I swear I was snoring on the phone with him. Ossifer, I'm telling you, Ossifer, I had to have him on the phone because if I obviously. I have an alibi to create here, sir. Last one, to speak to her husband the night before. And you know what I heard? I heard those hate channels are starting to insult Bullhorn Betty. There is nothing in the world I like to hear more than hate channels when we're in a true crime investigation to start resorting to insults. You want to know why? Because you know, when people start insulting you, you just done one. You just done one. You're on the right track. They have nothing to dispute it with, so they try to sit there and go after you through insults and hate. They know I was on the right track. They try to distract their group. They try to talk about my vajayjay. They try to trash talk me. When you start going there, baby, you put fuel in my sails, because I know I'm on the right track. I'm a behaviors person, and when I get insulted by the people backing up my bad guys, I know I'm on the right track. I know I'm on the right track. And I heard there's been a lot of insults coming Bullhorn Betty's way. From the Proudfoot side. When you get to insults, that means you got no logic to argue with me over. So there's the final nail in the coffin for old Bullhorn Betty. I think we know something happened inside that home. Sebastian was not and had not willingly walked out of that home. It appears he was in reality, I think he was carried out, because there was no scent from him around the house, only at that construction site. And I feel like that was a place that they held him until they could get to him to move him. And I truly believe that Chris had gotten there either earlier or later and picked him up and took him wherever he needed to go. I'd have to beg to think that he was there before the car was there. Or he was over there in the construction site and Kathy was out there on the other side. I don't know. But we have 2 flashlights. We've got an SUV that surely is matching right up with the Bower Sox SUV. We got, this isn't looking good. But this is good for us, because if this is not looking good for the Proudfoots, that means law enforcement has this, and law enforcement is definitely building a case. There is no disputing this stuff right here. None. See? No logic, just insults. Just insults. I love it. Love it. You guys were wrong. We were right. We had this case right while we were being trashed. And it's because the idiots on the streets of YouTube allowed their emotions to get involved when their head needed to be in the game. So we'll keep going down this road. We'll see what else. We're going to shake some trees. But now that we have a good understanding of what goes on, that gives a lot of pressure to people like me. It gives me the ability to apply an immense amount of pressure. So that's what I'm going to be working on, is cultivating my strategy, because I've got to now start dealing with a county government diplomatically. Yay me. Premeditation. I'm still not there, Sandy. Everything that I'm seeing here, it seems like the oh shit factor applies here. It really does. And the oh shit factor usually doesn't come in play in premeditation. The oh shit factor happened when she picked up the phone and had a 3-hour conversation with her husband. So I that's what's leading me now. I could be way off base here. I mean, I'm just analyzing this. None of this stuff is fact until we get facts. Like we've been talking about some analysis that we've done that this information has given a lot of weight to some of our analysis, So I'm really happy with how this is, developing. Obviously, I'm not happy with what these developments are implying. That's the bad part about this, is that these developments are implying something really bad. And that's sad to me, to be honest with you. But it's not something that I didn't already feel. But, we're going to keep hope. We're going to keep hope because, We didn't see anything, right? We didn't see anything. So it is possible that he could be in Alaska. I really do want to get a lot of stuff pushed around Alaska just to be on the safe side. But in all fairness, I believe that something happened inside that home that wasn't supposed to happen. It seems like Katie lost her shit. And here we are. And everybody's trying to help Katie because Katie's had such a horrible life. And, Katie's so manipulative because she had such a horrible life. And, she's just, I don't know. I don't like Katie. Had I known Katie's story, and I heard Katie's story, my heart would bleed for that woman. It does bleed for that woman in part of what she went through. But to perpetrate that on her own child 10 times over is something I can't understand. She should have gotten help for her problems a long time ago. She really should have. And she didn't. And here we are. She probably is one of those people that thinks she can handle it herself or pop a pill or, a cure-all. And next thing you know, there's no pill that's going to cure that type of trauma. The only thing that's going to cure that type of trauma is purging it from your system and understanding it's not your fault. And looking at yourself and how many people you damaged because of it. And understanding you can't do that. She never fixed herself. She buried it and put it down until it came out. And it probably came out, it probably boiled over in her. Probably everything that she has felt her entire life came out of her. A boy is gone. We know the story stinks to high heaven, and now we finally have some real legit evidence to prove it. And this is something that law enforcement has had in their possession, custody, and control. I will tell you, if Katie Proudfoot was in Florida, maybe Chris wouldn't be, but without a doubt, Katie Proudfoot would be behind bars right now if she was in Florida. Forensics would have been done to that home within 72 hours. For those that are just joining in, we are kind of, going through the case. You'll have to go back on the replay crew. I'm about to close out, but just to show you what we've been working on, we've kind of got like the Bower Sox car, their 2019 Q80. And this is lining up for the Q80, the 2021, and the 2023. Okay, they do line up almost. It looks like there's something with the bumper on both, on all of them. One of the bumpers is a lot longer on one model than it is the other, the bumper cover rather. So, but they do all pretty much line up with the Q80. Now, this is the one right here, and I want you to see this because I did the overlay, but you can see the halo. And as you see it, everything kind of just like everything, all the shine that needs to be on this vehicle is lining up right where the shine needs to be on this vehicle. You can see it perfectly. This light right here, there's a decorative half triangle, like just a I don't know what it's called, but it's a little decorative indentation in the bumper. And even this light down here matches up perfectly with it. You can literally see the sheen as it would be on the car. You can visibly see that this right here is almost a perfect match for the back end of that light source. It literally matches almost perfectly. This scares the crap out of me. So that's where we are in the investigation. This is not looking good for me, from my purview. It's making me very uncomfortable with this type of circumstantial evidence. How in the world, and it pisses me off even more, how in the world Sumner County does not have forensics from inside that home. It's like I am angry. And but before I get angry, I want to find out why. I'm going to be there in a matter of days, right? Multiple days. I don't know what day is it? It's the 12th. So I'm leaving. So in a week from today, I'll be leaving. I'll be leaving in 7 days. I keep pushing the day back. But I will be leaving probably by the 19th. And it's because I have certain things I've got to be there for Sebastian, but we also have a vigil for Layla Santinello on the 27th. So I got to balance my time so I'm not sitting there for days with no work and spending money. So I have to, part of my job is to budget these projects. These when we go out in the field, I have to budget them, and I have to budget them well, because I'm not made out of money. It's not like I make a whole lot of money on YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that, but we do make enough that we can go out to these cases. So I try to budget. When I can't budget or it's just out of my touch, I ask my audience. Right now, it looks like we've got this case covered. It's just that I've got to balance my time, and my time is pushing me down further in the when I can leave. I was wanting to leave on the 17th, but that's not going to work with my schedule because I've got to be in New York in July. So I got a lot of stuff going on here. I got a lot of hands in a lot of pots, but from this point forward, we're going to be out on the road for a little minute. Like every month, we're going to be on the road for a little minute. So we'll be back, and when we can, we'll come out and search for Sebastian. When we got to go home, we got to go home. When we can come back out again, we'll search for Sebastian. When we got to go home, we got to go home. That's kind of how how it works. We can't stay out there in the field forever. Plus, I'm going to be getting a new fur baby. I don't know how that's going to affect my life. I'm pretty sure it's going to rock my world just a little bit, at least for the first 6 months. But I think it'll be good because I can get her trained out in the field as a puppy. And it'll be good. She'll be with me wherever I go, and I'll have a little doggy, and I'll have my company, right? I'll have my company. At least I won't be, at least it won't be so bad. At least I'll get something to get me out of the house. Well, let us know, BHB, if you need. Oh, of course I will. Of course I will. I usually like to get my boots on the ground and get a good understanding of what needs to go into this, because I haven't visited the sites. I haven't done my preliminary site visits yet. I haven't, got a lay of the land, so to speak. So usually I spend a day or two just getting a lay of the land, going to the county stuff, just doing stuff that you guys don't see. And acquiring some public records and stuff like that. So occasionally we'll videotape it, just to show you that we're doing it. But typically we do a lot more than what you guys see on camera, as you guys can imagine. I mean, we do a lot. It takes a lot to get to be this in tuned and to have ideas. It took a lot. I mean, literally hours upon hours. I think my mods can tell you. I want to say like 2 solid weeks. We were up, day and night, pouring over maps and pouring over information to try to identify places on maps we could search. It was very disappointing because I feel like that stuff is stale, like all that hard work we did. But I don't think some of the places, I keep looking at these maps, and I don't think some of these places law enforcement or even the other searchers have looked. I've always wanted to share my maps. And I have shared some of them, but it just didn't seem like a whole lot of people were interested because I put it out there. Like, if you're in the area, here, I've got some ideas. Nobody reached out to me with them, So I know everybody else is probably doing the same thing. It probably has their own areas that they want to search or whatever. But I had very specific areas, and I felt like if I could just have explained it to one of the searchers out there why I identified this area and why I think it's probable, I feel like they would be on board with it, because I when I look at things, I do make sense. I don't just willy-nilly do things. And so I really thought that this one pond is just so far out there. If I could have gotten a body out there off of I-40 to look at this pond, it's like a ramp that comes right off of I-40. It literally goes by this pond and back. It was so Audrey Cunningham. It had such Audrey Cunningham vibes that it perked my curiosity. And so I thought, because we don't know what happened to Sebastian, we don't know where he is. Is he on land? Is he in sea? Is he above ground? Is he below ground? We don't know. We don't know. But the more we can identify who may know, the easier it'll be for us to figure out whose tracks we need to follow to find a location. It's a process. It's a sucky process. And it takes, sometimes they're easy to do. Sometimes they're not. This one's not so easy to do because they are being tight-lipped about the information we need to have. Chris won't tell us what he did. Chris won't tell us where he's at. That in and of itself is sus. You got a missing boy. Where the F were you? Oh, they don't want us. At this point, what difference did it make? Where the hell were you, dude? Give us your damn timeline. Were you stargazing? Were you Brian Coberry burgering it out? I mean, I'm just curious. I just want to know. So that's kind of where we are. I'm going to be dropping a video that kind of goes through some of this stuff because I just did a TikTok live and everything like that. So I'll be dropping that in another hour or two if you guys would like to see what we discussed on related to this topic. They are slightly different. I mean, we go over some of the same information, but not all. And our talking points are different from each show to each show. So if you guys would like to see the other side, I'll be dropping that video in probably another 2 hours for you guys to watch. And we're going to be working on this. I'm going to be bouncing around on all my channels today, talking about this new information and what it means to me, and trying to get the lay of the land. If you guys have any perspectives that you guys can help me with, I mean, we are looking at this area of this case right now. We're looking at whether Sebastian walked out of the house, whether Chris and Katie, the phone call, their story, their alibi, this light phenomenon inside the home, the light phenomenon on the outside of the home, the dogs, the hits, those things are my meat and potatoes. So I'm not getting into, I don't, and nobody's really been sending me stuff about Seth or Tony. I mean, here and there, and I just don't engage with that kind of stuff. I leave the parents picking whoever they want to work with because they're the ones stuck with that person and they have to work with them. So I don't get involved in things that aren't my business, that aren't my decision, that don't belong to my channel or to me. Those are not my decisions. We don't make those decisions for any other case or any other victims of these types of crimes. Why would we be putting that onus in this one? It sounds pretty stupid. And anybody that's sitting there dogging Tony, you guys can kiss my white breaded ass. Because that man has done nothing but be nice to them. And you know what? You guys have been attacking him, trying to provoke these responses. And when he stops giving them to you, you manufacture crap up. It's bullshit. Stop it. And I mean it. Stop it. Because I will go through exactly how one creator is brainwashing his own audience. And I can show you word association. You keep hearing him say Seth and suspect, Seth and suspect, Seth and suspect, Seth. Those are word associations. He's strategic about that. So when you think of Seth, you automatically think of suspect. Pretty interesting, huh? Pretty strategic, pretty manipulative. You'll be surprised which creator does this. You'll be surprised which creator does this. It's amazing. And I can show you the tricks of the trade. Just stick with me. Just stick with me because we're going to be educating the people of YouTube and social media so this stuff stops. And the only way it's going to stop is taking its power away. And the only way you can do that is bringing it to light. God bless.